As I said, the 2025 KBO draft is what we're going to be focusing on primarily. So it's not going to be your typical baseball stream. We're not going to actually play any games tonight. We're going to be looking at this draft and selecting players. It's a very deep draft, so it should be a lot of fun because we should be getting some really good players. And regardless of how this season ends, I am interested in doing a season 3 because of the talent that's available in this draft. But we'll get to that in a second. If you look to your left there, you'll see the standings. Hanwha Eagles currently in first place, 66, 44, and 4. Top 5 teams. 5 plays 4. Winner plays 3. Winner of that series plays 2. The winner of that series plays 1. So if you win the division in the regular season, you're playing for the championship. So it's huge that we are in first place. Now, if you're following the series, we were 8 games up. LG has narrowed that down to 5.5 over the last few days. And we'll take a quick look at why that is. Look at the standings. Our magic number with a month ago is down to 25. We love the fact that we're 22 games over 500. We're not crazy about the fact that we've been 4-6 in the last 10 games. So we hit this stretch where we've kind of cooled down. We were just chugging right along. Look at May, 18-9, June, 14-9-1, July, 16-5, August, 10-9-1. So what happened? The main thing is we lost Hyunjin Ryu and Felipe Vera, who are really our number 1 and number 2 starters. They are 2 dominant pitchers. They're both out long term. We basically lost everyone that was in our starting rotation at one time or another has been hurt and has missed time. Not to rehash the trade deadline special, but we pick up Kim. He's pitched really well for us. Believe it or not, he's made 6 starts already. He's 3-0 in those 6, and he's got that low 2.2 somewhere earned run average with us. But the starting rotation, which had been the best in the KBO by far, is now dropped to 3rd in starters ERA. And that's because we're running a lot of guys out there who honestly would have been in our minor league system and not even on the roster. They've been making starts for us. We've had some trouble with the long guys lately. Really, it's because they've been pitching more innings and getting exposed because the starting rotation is not getting into the 6th inning consistently. So we're seeing where our weakness is in our pitching staff right now. Now, one thing that we did do, we signed Jorge Mateo. He's been playing right field and shortstop. Joe Suka, who has been one of our steady veteran guys since we started this, starting to slip a little bit. His defense is sliding. His bat's not what it was. Now, he was hitting 180. He's now up to 220, so hits are falling. But partially because Mateo will play shortstop against lefties and he'll sit. And then we'll have another right-handed bat in right field. Against right-handers, Mateo plays right, and Joe Suka starts at shortstop. So he's getting more favorable at bats, and that's helping getting his bat going again. Mateo, who we picked up, who was just knocking the cover off the ball, and he is hitting .310 with a home run. He's not a power guy. He's more of a contact, but a lot of speed, solid defense in here. He has actually declined since we signed him. And that's the strangest thing, is we've only had him for 22 games. Well, it's crazy to think he's already been with us 22 games. But his ratings have dropped. So, yeah, so that's kind of hurt us. And one thing that makes me nervous on this is when he was a more dominant bat, which is why he's hitting cleanup despite not having a bunch of power. I was okay with Mateo as known to air his grievances in public. Now I'm starting to get a little worried that is this going to be a clubhouse issue if this guy starts to struggle? And there are signs that that may be the case. That's a quick look at where we're at. The offense has been better. The one other thing, I said there were 2 reasons we've struggled. Our running game. Kim in center field's got 71 stolen bases. Now, he's been caught 5 times now. Up until 2 weeks ago, it was like 1. Jung at second base, 47. Moon in left field is 42. Josu Ka, 25 steals. And Jorge Mateo's stolen 13 since joining the team in 22 games. So we like to run when we can, and that makes up for what I would say is a lack of depth in our lineup, in our bats. We get a guy on. If you get Jung or you get Kim on, we can swipe second. Now we're in scoring position, and all that takes then is a single from No or Mateo or Moon, and those guys can swing the bat. So we're getting a lot of offense out of running. We get some steals at the bottom of the lineup as well. Moon can run here, get himself in scoring position for Che and on. So that's been what's like really sparked the offense for this last 2.5 month stretch where we pulled ourselves from 6th or 7th all the way up to 1st. Lately, teams have been doing a better job of countering that, where we either start and stop and don't actually run, or we just plain get thrown out. You saw all those thrown out stealings. That percentage was much higher in our favor up until recently. Looking at the draft, this thing is deep, and I mean it's really deep. Keep in mind when we look at this draft pool that there are 10 teams drafting. If you're looking for guys who could help like right away, be sure, thank you for the follow, appreciate that. So yeah, if you look at the overall ratings, if you're looking for somebody who would be close to helping you out right away, we've got some of that too. There's a starting pitcher here that's probably going to go number 1. That'll be in your rotation. So anyway, the point is that there is not only a few guys here that could help you right away. What am I looking for? My strategy? I think, you know, there's 2 ways to approach a draft in my opinion. One is best player, and the other is need of the team. And when I look here, there are so many, like, what do I need on my team? Could use it. My catchers are both very strong defensive catchers. Neither one of them can swing a bat very well. If I could find a guy that gives me that defense and can swing a bat, that's a need I have. There are a few catchers in this draft, so that's a possibility. First base is a little weak offensively. We could get better at DH. I'm very happy with center field. Definitely happy at third base. Mateo probably not back next year, so right field is a spot we could get better. Left field, Moon is a 21 or 22-year-old guy just starting his career. I would love to add another starting pitcher because Ryu is not getting any younger. He's the best pitcher in the KBO, but he's now fragile, and he's getting up there in age. So we've got plenty of needs, but toughest positions for, I think, to fill in a team is going to be middle infield defense that can hit the ball. So a shortstop with offense, a catcher with offense. Normally I would auto draft. I think we'll go one by one, see who they take up until our first one. We won't do this every round, but I want to see who goes first. So Doosan with the first pick. I think they're taking that pitcher. I think that's who they did take. Yep. This guy should be... I don't see any reason this guy wouldn't be in your rotation from day one. Kai Woom up next, the Heroes. They took a picture. I always like the mock drafts because they're never right. This guy's pretty close. Well, I'd probably put this guy in the minors. He's only 19. Put him in the minors. Let him pitch down there and get some confidence before you bring him up. Latte. They took who I thought they would take. This guy's a right fielder. Could play left field, actually. But really solid bat. Can run. Really, really solid player. I think that's where he was expected to go. So far, I think the mock draft is nailing it. Pretty strong center fielder. Swing a bat. This guy, there's probably better players out there, but not many that can play center field as well as he does and hit for power like that. SSG, the Landers, my kid's favorite team, I think. They take, oh, that's interesting. I think this was the guy I was projected to take. So that's cool because this guy's a good bat. It's not really who I wanted to take, though. So that means that there is at least one player out there that I expected to be gone. Oh, cool. Okay, so everybody that I put on my draft list is going to be capitalized. It doesn't mean they're the only guys I'm interested in. I just did that so that when I'm looking at the list, especially later in the rounds, those capitalized guys stand out to me and I can, oh, wait a minute, there's one of these guys still around. I think I can wait. What? When it comes to catcher, I need defense first. There's a couple of catchers available. Just a little gun shy that this guy's going to be gone because this is he's a switch hitter, gives us some power, and he's probably the best defensive catcher out there. But I am thinking about this. There's a shortstop who I thought for sure was going to be gone, and he's still there. He is a steady defensive shortstop. Better third baseman. We've got a good third baseman, but we could move him to first. And this guy's got some pop. And he was supposed to go in the top 5. So I don't think this guy will be around after this round. So we're going to go with Kim. And now we will auto draft to our next. Because quite frankly, if this was like real college players and we knew who they were, it'd be a little more interesting to hang around. All right, so let's see. We lost out on who? See, these guys are great bats. I just don't love their defense, to be honest with you. And there's other bats in this draft. So I feel like I can snatch this guy up. Let's grab one of these bats. We're not going to catch him. We might DH him. Like this guy right here. I'm not crazy about him behind the plate. But we can put this guy in a DH. Now he is 18. I'm going to take him. That bat's too good. He'll take some time to get to the big leagues, but I think I'm going to snatch up my catcher, my actual catcher. So this is the 4th round. It is a total of 11 rounds. I think I'm snatching this dude up. I really like that bat. And not a great arm. He's going to make some errors, but he'd be an all right lefter. He'd be an all right corner outfielder. And if this is really a problem, he could DH as well. So I think this is the best player we got. After this, we got to get some pitching. Where are we at? We are at round 5. So back to all players. I think it's time to pull the trigger on this guy. Let's get him in the organization. So, all right, they are recommending Jin Hyung Kim as a second baseman, durable. All right, player. I like the bat. I don't know if I consider him a middle infielder. Oh, yeah, we got to take this dude. Holy crap, I can't believe I missed this guy until now. All right, so this is a lot of 50s on this bat, but a good eye and a well above average power for somebody who pick one of these positions and put him on it. And he is going to be an all-star caliber defensive player. Boy, look at that bat. This is the guy he's recommending. That is a really good bat. I have to admit that. I'm going to take a chance that Kim is going to be around. I may kick myself, but I think I'm actually going to go with their suggestion. I'm going to actually draft my scout's recommendation. Boy, the pitching cleaned out, and I did not get much pitching. That might be a problem. That might be my Achilles heel in this draft that I didn't. I went very heavy so far on position players. I would have liked to have walked out of here with it. At least a fresh starting pitching prospect. Doesn't look like... Well, maybe I will actually. See if did our dude get snatched? Yeah, somebody saw the potential. All right, going with Kim. That's my guy. All right, so we got him in order here, reverse order. So we'll start at the bottom. There you see what we did. Picked up Kim in the trade at the deadline, signed Mateo once Vera was hurt. So those were our two trade deadline pickups that we talked about earlier. We could pick up Mateo, a foreign-born player, because we lost Vera, who is a foreign-born player. All right, here's our number one pick for our review. We'll see. My first inclination was that we get better at shortstop because Josuka does seem to be in decline. We have the best third baseman in the KBO, but you know what? There's always the possibility of sliding him over to first base and sliding this guy into third base because he's definitely a better third baseman than he is a shortstop. And with a bat like this, with all that power, put him on the corner and let him focus on hitting the ball out of the park. It's another right-handed bat in the lineup to support No. Are we not able to scroll? Oh, that's not cool. We can't just scroll up. Number two pick, took an 18-year-old. This was not my first choice. He's a catcher. He's not my first choice to put behind the plate, though. I took the bat. I'm looking at, this is a possible DH first baseman. Our DH first base situation is that the two guys who occupy those two positions right now are both two of our higher paid players. One, I think, is a free agent after this year. The other, I believe, has one more year on his contract. Both have played okay this year. At times they've been good, at times they haven't. But this guy won't be ready to take their spot for a little while anyway. But if we do play a few seasons, and here's a cleanup hitter, right? Cleanup hitter of the future. So I guess we got to click back. Take a look at our third pick, which was our catcher of the future, maybe the near future. The bat just has to develop a little bit, but like him behind the plate, he was not the best defensive catcher, but he is solid across the board. Behind the plate, his blocking, his framing, his arm, all are very good. He's intelligent, doesn't have a big mouth, my kind of guy, and he'll make above average contact, has a well above average batting average on balls in play. And then you got 50s in power categories, 50 on eye. So he'll be this guy's going to hit 7th, maybe 8th in the lineup. That's a good bat. That's a really good bat. And he is coming at you from the right side. We're lefty heavy, so that's a good thing. We go next to center field. We took a lot of position players, like I said. Maybe I went too heavy on position and didn't jump on some pitching early. Hopefully I don't regret that, but I think we'll be able to address that. Just looked at this guy and couldn't say no. He can play. He could really play all three outfield positions. Particularly, though, I'd say better in the corners, obviously. He's going to make some errors out there. Not a great arm, so a left fielder with some range would not hurt you too bad, I think, in left field. And he runs, steal a swipe a base or two. But that bat's just 65 at contact. He avoids strikeouts, gap power. The eye should be above average. So another right-handed bat again into the organization that doesn't have a lot of depth. Batting-wise, not a lot of depth pitching-wise either, honestly. So then we grab the pitcher. Here's our first pitcher of the day. Relief pitcher, a right-hander. Another area we did not address was hoping to pick up a lefty out of the pen, but this guy was the best relief pitcher available. This is a sidearm finesse pitcher, neutral, so he's not. I try to stay away from fly ball pitchers. If you look at that fastball and that slider, really good stuff. It's not going to allow a lot of home runs. Really, what we're waiting on before we bring this guy up is that control. I want to see that control come up a little bit, and then he'll be able to come up and get people out in the KBO. That was our 5th pick. Then we went back to middle infield. Kim, the second baseman. A guy that probably isn't destined to be a second baseman, but that's a pretty solid bat if it develops. And you know what? It's going to take this guy a little while, I think. This guy's probably at least 2 seasons, so who knows if we'll even be playing this at that point. But he's at least 2 seasons away, and who knows what the situation will be at DH and first base by then. Plus, if that bat becomes that, which you see there on the potential, then this is a guy that maybe can be flipped for some of that pitching depth that we didn't get in this draft. Another middle infielder again. Average bat, slightly above average power, but man, look at that defense. So imagine you got that defense at one of these positions. Like, I'm going to say shortstop, because that's a really good shortstop. I mean, he's all-star caliber defense at 4 positions right there. But you put this guy, so it's rare to get a shortstop that good. And this guy's going to probably he might hit 250 with 15 homers, 14 homers, somewhere in there. And he's got that kind of defense. You couldn't pass that up. I couldn't pass that up anyway. And that was round 7. Round 8, we went to left field. And again, just another one of these solid bats in there that you just had to take a shot on. Handles big game pressure as well. You look at his speed and defensive ratings, and there's not much there, but boy, look at that bat. To get a guy that could potentially hit this well this late in the draft, as I said, it was deep. I wasn't kidding. Finally get back to the pitching staff. Grab a relief pitcher. This is number 9. Another 18-year-old. So we took a lot younger players this time, more younger players. First year we only took 1, so pretty much guaranteed we were going to take more. Fly ball pitcher, like I said, I don't go crazy for fly ball pitchers, but just dynamic stuff. Really solid slider. Potentially a really good fastball. Control. And the batting average on balls in play Not exactly what we would want, but if this stuff is good enough, maybe he overcomes that. So we'll take a shot. We'll give this guy a spot in the minors, let him pitch, see what happens. Pick number 10. Again, another guy. Now this guy's speed and base running, fundamental stuff here looks better. Not going to be a great second baseman. Probably not going to be a great infielder at all. We looked at his outfield. Now that I look at it, I realize I already looked at this. Not really going to be a great outfielder, but this bat's got some power, good eye, average in the contact, and there's gap power, there's ratings through there, but that power is above average, the eye is above average. So, can we find a role for him? Maybe. And our final pick of the draft, like his leadership qualities, relief pitcher, average at holding runners, finesse pitcher, just 87 to 89. Don't get too excited about that. In this league, there's plenty of pitchers that don't top 90. Don't love the movement, don't love the batting average on balls in play. But, this is the last pick of the draft for us. This guy is a right-handed relief pitcher who he's going to replace. There are guys right now on my minor league team who are packing bags because this guy was signed, because they're not as good as this guy. All right, so that's it for the draft. Got to say that I feel like we did well. I really wanted to get a starting pitcher out of that somewhere. There wasn't a ton of starting pitching in that thing, though. So now we sit here at the 26th. The draft is done. So the future of the team, for the time being, is set.